He was there, 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 and there.
Her name's Sarah Quinn.
How'd she die?
Right.
She wasn't strangled, was she, like those other women?
She and her husband stayed here several times. First time on their honeymoon. He's a surgeon in London.
She used to live here. She still owned...
Michael, darling.
She owned a house. We used to come up here time to time.
Whoever we're after is still out there.
Where was that?
Or...
What? Maybe boyfriend Breen's just have you?
She is trying to step into Sarah's shoes before the poor girl is even...
It's routine house-to-house. Cottage the other side of Rexlade. 2 PCs are holding a man. No. Eddie Brannell.
These items, Edward, how did you come to have them?
Didn't steal that. I am the owner. Independent.
The man we've arrested had it.
Michael. Michael.
Brannell says he didn't do it.
What?
He thinks he's killed 4 women, not 5. And he knew Sarah Quinn when they were children.
Bitch! Bitch! That solicitor, for all his blow, hopeless. Please say you're guilty. That'll do for him. Eddie, them have said things to you, told you you done them things.
If I haven't, how did they know?
I know where you were when you were killed. Now, if we can prove them are wrong about that, there's a chance to show they're wrong about others. Sarah Quinn, the night she died, you were with me.
The other times was a wicked then.
Try it again.
No reply?
We're returning Mrs. Quinn's things.
He probably thinks you're the press. Michael!
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I thought it was...
The press, I know.
Banging on the door. I tried to telephone you. I can't even answer my own damn door.
It's all right. It's all right.
She's very efficient.
She's not staying here.
She's got a television.
Hey, now don't start messing about.
I'm sorry.
I tried to telephone. We're returning your late wife's things. We just need you to identify the site. She must have been very fond of this. Well thumbed. Thomas Wolfe.
Well, it's probably a library book.
No, it has her name in it. And the bookmark. She'd underlined the last paragraph.
To lose the earth you know for greater knowing, to lose the life.
I'm sorry. And the clothes.
That's not my wife's. My wife wouldn't wear something so... What on earth would people think? It's the sort of thing someone who paints their toenails would wear.
That's the second time he's looked, to say the least, surprised when I've shown him some of his wife's belongings. Thank you.
Separate lives?
I wanted that. Double room for herself, booked a table for two.
I think maybe she did paint her nails when she's not with him.
They've made some mistake.
Don't reinvent her as an angel, Michael.
Catherine, I wanted to say, the night I had that awful nightmare, it was the Turinol does strange things to one's mind. I was so grateful to you.
You needed to be comforted.
But it was purely friendship, yes? The comfort of a close, caring friend. But just friendship.
Can I have my medal back?
Mr. Dangerfield, Inspector Masters, sir, local CID. Would you happen to have met the owners of this house at all? I know you rented through an agency.
Agency? Who told you that?
Well, the late owner's husband.
Michael.
Oh, you know Mr. and Mrs. Quinn?
Yes. I've just driven down from London. Putting some flowers in the church for Sarah. You've got the basket who did it.
Why would Mr. Quinn think this place was let through an agency?
Well, Sarah probably told him that. Michael didn't care for us terribly much. Seems silly to have to lie about your friends. But that's marriage for you.
Why didn't he care for you?
Oh, Michael is rather proper. We're arty types. Dangerous commies, all of us.
Well, you don't look either.
Sarah and Michael just had different circles of chums.
Some interesting paintings.
Peter Levy, Judith Sales. This is her. That one's a John Stockton. Him. New Year's Eve, 1950. 4 years and a lifetime ago. Stockton at 3 minutes to midnight. Excellent painter. Should do more. An overactive interest in alcohol. Mind you, so had Judith.
It's quite a collection.
Sarah's. Came with the house. Boxes of stuff. Picture of Sarah in a nappy somewhere. I imagine taken when she was a child, but she could be eccentric after a drink.
This man, do you...
Jan van der Peer, Michael and Sarah's chum.
What does he do?
Oh, I don't know. Cheese, diamonds, flowers, something Dutch.
Dutchman. When was the last time she came here?
5 months ago. My birthday.
With Michael? With her husband?
No. He's always far too busy being eminent.
Do you think I could see the other photographs you mentioned?
Search the place.
Well, prepare ourselves for anything the defense may say about her at the trial.
Whether she was a saint or a sinner. We all have secrets. I think any delving should be authorized by her husband or a search warrant. I'd feel I was betraying a trust.
How did you get it? Edward?
From Sarah. Policeman says I'll anchors it.
You know, everybody thinks you killed Sarah. What are you doing?
Doing now. Who's that? Oh,
A little night work, is it, Ray?
I'll just seeing if they're running.
Bit out of your way, isn't it?
She used to come here.
Sarah Quinn?
Her lot still do.
How do you know they were her lot? Watched them, did you, Ray?
We'd sometimes swing round this way.
You and Eddie? You wouldn't have harmed her, though, would you, Ray? Because of what's happened between her and the young boy, Joseph.
Just a local lad. Didn't know out but his home.
18, was he?
Aye. Old enough to hang.
Was he in love with her?
Oh, he talked like a big Jessie when he talked about her.
You said that to him, did you?
She didn't want him. I told him that.
Must have been a very unhappy young lad.
He left me with the other one to gaze on the rest of my days.
Is that how you see Eddie? The other one?
Many a time I've wished her dead because of Joe going. See what judgment that kind of wishing brings on you. The other lad's suffering now because of her. He didn't do it. But he'll go for it, won't he? She's done for both of them.
Mr. Fisher?
No, that's the name of the club. Wyatt. Freddie Wyatt. You?
Inspector Masters. I telephoned.
Oh, you spoke to Madge. She runs this bar. She said you were looking for... Come in. Looking for Mr. Fisher.
Thank you.
Did Michael Quinn put you on to me? Tell you I was a friend of Sarah's?
No, I found you in the book. Michael Quinn. No, not Michael. Didn't you like him? When did you last see Mrs. Quinn?
2 weeks before she died. We had a cup of tea in Lyons. Would you like a cuppa?
Thank you very much.
She was off on a short holiday.
With her husband?
No, she went alone.
How long had you known her?
15 years. We met in a cinema queue. Gone with the Wind. We cried buckets on each other's shoulders from the 3 and 9s. Stayed friends ever since.
Does this photograph mean anything to you?
Where'd you get this? We were a snap-happy lot. Johnny Stockton with his Bolex. Sarah had a Leica, me with my Brownie 124. That's Edward Brannell, the man you've arrested. I took it. New Year's Eve, 1950. We had a party. I caught him looking in through the window, like King Kong.
When did she come back?
5 minutes before 1950.
They weren't...
Lovers? No. Sarah had her moments, but not with him. No, she just said he was a dear old friend.
This gold chain with the cameo pendant, did she wear it often?
Yes, she wore it constantly at one time.
Not recently?
No, it had belonged to her mother.
So not something that she'd give away?
I wouldn't have thought so. She'd have wanted to keep everything intact to pass on to her children, had she had any. Her family were very keen on all that. She did seem very fond of him. She was crying after she left him. Tears weren't part of her usual repertoire. More of a Judy Garland, always came back singing. I imagined she was crying for the past. But perhaps she just had something in her eye. Sang a bloody good Old Lang Syne. Did a very passable conga. That's how I prefer to remember her.
I don't want to keep bothering Mr. Quinn. He's clearly under great stress. I don't know how he can go on working.
And Michael's the sort of man who runs on nervous energy and cups of tea at the best of times.
We did in the war.
Quite. But when you're constantly in a situation where a split-second decision is the difference between a patient coming safely off the operating table or going onto a slab, well, that degree of stress, for any surgeon, exactly like the war.
And has that happened to Mr. Quinn, I mean? We're just talking, I won't repeat anything.
No, I don't think there's anything I can...
No, I understand. I'm not trying to pry.
No, I realise. But you must understand this is a place where delicate surgery is carried out every single day. And, well...
You can't save everybody.
Well, no, you can't. And as you've obviously guessed, that happened recently.
To one of Mr. Quinn's patients?
Yes. It was one of those awful things that couldn't be foreseen. It was no one's fault. It was just... Well, one moment everything seemed fine. Michael had almost finished. And the patient had a massive convulsion. Like someone had thrown a switch. Well, it shattered Michael. He couldn't believe it. He just walked out of the theatre. I tried to talk to him, but he couldn't. I phoned him that night. He wouldn't answer. He was absolutely distraught.
Oh.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Catherine tells me you want to know more about Sarah's cameo. Please, do sit down.
I'm sorry to go on about it, sir. It's just a bit of clarification. You probably read in the newspapers that the man we've arrested is mentally retarded. It's difficult to know what's fact and what's fantasy with him.
We're not reading the newspapers.
No, I understand. But you can imagine it's hard to talk about a murder to a man who has no memory for killing anyone.
Well, if he doesn't know what he's done, then he isn't fit to plead. He needs help, not...
Not hanging. Well, they reckon it's too good for him. They reckon he's just evil.
That man has no more idea of evil than a stampeding animal when it tramples a child.
Sounds as if you've read a little bit about him, sir.
I suppose hanging him will satisfy the public's desire for vengeance. I do not believe in capital punishment.
Can you remember the last time your wife was wearing this? You see, the man we're holding has claimed that he had it in his possession before she died.
How?
He knew Mrs. Quinn a long time ago, when they were young. He and his brother and she were great friends. You didn't know that, sir? We know that he saw her 4 years ago, New Year's Eve, 1950, the party. He apparently came to see your wife. You were there, sir. Didn't she say?
No.
You see, if he did have this pendant before she died, it throws doubt on whether he was her killer.
But surely he killed all those others.
That hasn't been proven in court yet. Do you think he could have had this?
It had been her mother's. She wore it often. Quite recently.
Go on. Tell me.
5 hours, 15 minutes.
5 hours, 8. I need a drink.
I need a new watch. Why the rush?
Want to see how quickly you can get here when you really want to? You see, when she had the cameo pendant, it's vital to the whole... where is he? Why is there never a barman when you want one? I want to get onto the West Yorkshire Police. Our Miss Lucas says that she was in Wensleydale when Sarah Quinn died. Better make sure.
We've been on to The Hague again about Van der Peer. And HM Customs is supposed to be checking out passenger manifests, passport control.
Right. Perhaps it's him she was getting dressed up for. Where is he?
Maybe. I don't know what gets the Dutch going.
Perhaps you should get out a bit more.
Sorry, Jim. Oh, hello.
Could I have a scotch, please? And...
Oh, just a bottle of pop, please.
That's the order, but first, did you see Mrs. Quinn wearing this the night she was sitting in the bar?
The night she died? No, she won't wearing that.
Would you make that a large scotch, please? Dressing up, again. Some married people need that kind of thing. And I need to speak to Eddie Brown again before his solicitor gets wind of what's going on. Right.
Oh, excuse me. Am I still in charge here, or what?
What?
I've just had Michael Quinn's solicitor on the phone. One of your officers is asking questions at Mr. Quinn's own hospital. Oh, and then I get a call from a reporter on the Daily Herald. Is Michael Quinn a suspect? Why have police quizzed husband of dead woman?
Oh, my God.
What are you playing at?
I'm just trying to establish whether Sarah Quinn was wearing that pendant thing on the night she was killed. It's looking more doubtful. And if she wasn't, well, Brannell couldn't have taken it off her body now, could he?
He could. If she'd been carrying it in her purse, from luck, like a...
Like a St. Christopher.
You said she was superstitious.
Then why was Michael Quinn so shocked? Why did he faint when I asked him to identify it? That pendant was the only thing that linked Brannell with the scene of the crime. And it's the one crime that he's adamant that he did not commit. I mean, there's just something not right.
Yes, you! Look, we've got an open and shut case. The only reason you keep nagging away at it is you can't accept some ordinary copper just stumbled on Brannell and pinched him.
That is not the case.
After all your months of hard work, it couldn't be that simple, could it? Anyway, 4 murders of 5. Don't you think an animal like him deserves to die? I'd no right to say that. I'm sorry.
Brannell, up!
Did you bring my medal?
We'll get it, Edward. Will you help me first, like a policeman? How long to punt from your house to here? 5 minutes? Take half an hour by road, going down to the bridge along the far side, past that Murray Griffin Hotel. Easy half an hour. Anne Daly walked to work at the farm this way, didn't she, Edward? Easy to step off onto the bank more, dear. There's a farm. Do you remember being here, Edward?
When I was a boy.
You've been here since you were a boy, Edward.
With a girl.
Does it seem a very, very long time ago? Quite recent. Anne Daly, she had a gold compact. She was walking back from work, going down to the other bridge to get to this side. Not long ago.
When I was little.
No. You're just helping us sort it all out. No more doubts.
I'm milking. I'm milking.
Tales of the bloody riverbank.
Eddie, what's this, I wonder?
Road walks?
Yeah. Good place for eels, Eddie.
Them get below a weir. Sluice.
You didn't come here then?
For mud.
You had no right to do this without speaking to me
We're
first.
still carrying out a murder inquiry.
My client...
Your client visited the sites of 5 murders today. Subsequent to that, he made a full statement.
Not with my name.
In which he admitted to carrying out 4 of those murders.
You understand everything that's been said, Edward? Is everything written here that's been read back to you just what you said and no more?
I helped sort it out.
Much of a challenge, was he?
Can I have my medal now?
No idea. That hotel, the drive, the place we found Sarah Quinn's body. Just meant nothing to him.
But the other places did. There'll be no doubt in the jury's mind now that you've got his confession. Well done.
Are you still certain he murdered Sarah Quinn? Are you really certain? I want to search your house on the marshes.
All right. Do it.
There's another picture taken with all her friends, bloke holding a clock. Taken sometime after this. Countdown to the new year, but I can't remember whether she was wearing this or not.
Do you really think she gave it to Rendell when he came to see her?
Well, if she's not wearing it only minutes after the photograph was taken, it certainly fits with Brownell's story. I mean, her husband's the only one who says that he's seen her wearing this recently.
Edward, I urge you, plead guilty to the murder of Sarah Quinn.
I didn't want Sarah.
Edward, we have no evidence to support that. If you say you're not guilty of Sarah's murder, you'll be showing the judge and the jury that you're aware of what you're doing. If you're aware of your actions, we can't say you're unfit to plead to the other charges.
I did harm the others. I remembered when the man showed me. I'm very sorry.
Edward, saying you killed Sarah will help us to save your life.
How do you plead to the murder of Wendy Cutforth?
Guilty.
The murder of Maureen Hunter?
Guilty.
Murder of Anne Daly?
Guilty.
The murder of Mary Trenthyde?
Guilty.
The murder of Sarah Harriet Quinn?
I didn't kill Sarah. I didn't. I didn't harm Sarah.
I believe you. But sometimes the truth is... They're all talking about you up there, you know. I thought you were going to say something else.
Are they sorting it out? She used to read to me. She was a mum. Joe was a dad. I have told the truth.
I know that. I brought you something. I'm sorry, I couldn't get the chain. Hey, now don't tell anybody. See you again. Not over.
What's your name?
Masters. Stephen Masters. Okay.
What did he say?
He thinks it's the one she gave to him. Luckily, all cameos look alike.
Nice thought, though, sir.
What? From the man who got the confessions out of him? It's the least I could do. The very least.
Children's games. Everything in Sarah Quinn's family was passed down through the female line. Sarah had no children, so who did she have to pass the pendant on to? Sarah was the mum, Joe was the dad, Eddie was the baby.
But why give it to him? She was married, young enough to have kids.
But her pal Freddie said that she was crying when she came back from seeing Rendell. Crying for the past. Or the present.
Pick that up.
No. It's not a real one.
Should I check guest houses as well?
Well, I don't think Sarah Quinn was the guest house sort.
Wouldn't she have stayed at her aunt's old place with her friends?
Local renters says she hadn't been there for the past 5 months. But if all the weekends away from her husband were spent with a lover, well, must have gone somewhere.
Jan Vanderpeer. Just come in. Travelled to this country 5 times in the past 12 months. Harwich Ferry. Not, however, at the time of Sarah Quinn's murder. And even if he had, he wouldn't be tucked up with her in some cosy hotel hideaway. Seems unlikely that she'd be getting herself dressed up for him. All that he'd appreciate it if she did.
Funny old life. So for who?
Had any more thoughts, Ray?
Aye, plenty. I give the lad an alibi, and it's the truth. But them don't believe me. I've damned him from the day he were born. Half-wit.
Well, the boy never had much love, did he? And after the night that house was torched, the last hope he had went up in flames. Didn't it, Ray?
Well, there's something there that could have helped him.
A photograph. I think it could.
Saved him?
Possibly. Shown he was telling the truth.
Saved him. Well, that night's work damned him for all time, didn't it? And you got him to confess to all others. We'd done that boy proud between us, haven't we?
Hello? Yes, it is.
It's Inspector Masters, sir. I think I'm going to have to speak to you again and your friends about the death of Sarah Quinn.
I see.
A gift. A gift to her. Yes. Speaking.
My name is John Stockton. I think I should speak to you.
What a coincidence. I just got to you, Mr. Stockton. She was waiting for you the night she was killed.
Yes.
Your work?
Only the bookmarks.
But you gave her the book.
Yes. We wallowed in it. Romantic sadness for a time lost, but still traveling on in hope.
That hotel, she'd spent a honeymoon there. She'd visited it since with her husband. I couldn't understand why. That place, the dress.
To turn heads. No more hiding. Do something that Michael could no longer ignore. She said she was going to book a table for two in the center of the room. Possibly even dance on it. He didn't want her to leave him, you see.
He knew.
She told him. The very idea of divorce scandalized him. Catholic, you see. The sin and shame, guilt. Michael's a man who'd rather die than live through a scandal. And that she should choose somebody like me. Would you take?
No, thank you.
The flaunting of our affair, the love child, he didn't think she'd go quite that far. At that hotel, we really were going to try. Pilgrimage.
But you didn't go?
No, I went to the arts club and got rat-assed with 5 hand-picked pals.
Why didn't you come forward when you knew she was dead?
I was ashamed. I still wouldn't. If you hadn't terrorized Freddie and Will Dangerfield on the telephone, leave him alone. No problems enough being illegal.
Then you should have come forward.
Shame. When you tell someone you love them, you want them. I did, but I didn't have the guts to see through with her one thing she wanted more than anything else. Sarah was desperate to have a child. Something to love. Something that might truly love her.
Why not children with a husband?
The only child Michael wanted in that house, in that marriage, was himself. He's so precious, I'm amazed he doesn't have himself polished and locked up at night. Maybe he does.
Darling?
I have to talk to someone. I can't.
No. Shh. Michael, you are so precious. Michael, you are so valuable.
You don't know me at all.
Yes, I do. I think I know all of you, and I'm here for you, Michael. And I'll be strong when you can't be. Michael, I'll be everything for you.
I did love her, you know. It's the idea of children. I couldn't.
All Sarah's photographs gone. Must have been very painful for you. Living surrounded by photographs taken by her lover.
Yes.
But not as painful as being told that she was going to leave you and go to him. And spend their first weekend at the hotel where you'll spend your honeymoon. You sure it was so cruel?
No. No, we were very happy once.
But it stopped.
Not for me.
The night your wife died, you didn't leave the hospital at 5 o'clock and come here to sleep. In your state of mind, you weren't going to sleep. Your patient died on the operating table at exactly 3:05.
That's...
I've seen the almoner's report. You left the hospital shortly before 4 o'clock. One of your colleagues telephoned you here that evening. But no reply. You weren't here, were you?
and the patient's age. Did you see that? 12 years old. Her name was Helen. She lived in a filthy, overcrowded tenement. Hardly had a chance at life. Her parents said they were sure I'd done all I could. She died because I got it wrong. I wasn't thinking of anything other than my wife.
In a hotel room with another man.
Please, I'm sorry.
Oh, God!
I must talk to you.
No!
Just please.
No!
Sarah, darling, don't. Darling, darling.
I hate you!
You must talk to me. Please, please. I need you now. I do. I need you. I need you.
I want him! I don't want you! I want him!
Listen to me.
And the man being tried for his life, Edward Brannell, should he hang for that crime?
That would be the crime. I loved her so.
And you couldn't bear to lose her?
Michael! Leave him alone. Get out. Go on, get out!
Please. Go.
The power to save life.
Edward Brannell, you have been found guilty of the murders of Anne Daly, Wendy Cutforth, Maureen Hunter, Mary Trenthyde, and Sarah Harriet Quinn. As punishment for this crime, you shall be taken from this court to a place of execution, where you shall be hanged by the neck until you are dead.
Sir? Left at the desk.
Thank you. Lest we forget, J.S. John Stockton. No, I won't forget, Mr. Stockton. There came to him an image of man's whole life upon the earth. It seemed to him that all man's life was like a tiny spurt of flame that blazed out briefly in an illimitable and terrifying darkness. He knew his life was little and would be extinguished. And he knew that he would die with defiance on his lips, and that the shout of his denial would ring with the last pulsing of his heart into the maw of all-engulfing night.